Punch. No. I don't like how they've made their upholstery so big on the wrist.
Wait a minute!
No, it's been one of those things that I've wanted to make a video on for quite a while because we've got like Sean W and Halo Swallower and a few of those other guys that kind of just wring the neck of, I don't know.
They milk the cow of Halo content.
Yeah, and they seem to have somebody that's in 343 or knows some knowledge. And I mean, Halo Follower did this a long time ago, and it was all bullshit, and he got caught on it. But I don't know where they're getting the information from. But anyway, so that's what we're talking. Is your audio fucking off now? Is it? You know?
I was laughing at Dylan's camera.
Yeah. Well, hey, my Kmart camera doesn't do that. And it was free. Six fingered free, mate.
I know what he was laughing at.
It was going blurry.
I was trying to focus it and it wasn't working. Yeah, it went blurry while you were talking, and I was trying to zoom it back into me, and then I had to shift it a bit and made it work. And that doesn't include the other stuff when you mentioned Jack Frags.
All right. Other than me loving Jack Frags, so does either one of you? Oh, I've got Rescendant and Camouflage. I met Rescendant playing Destiny, a game that is not does not suit the solo player, unfortunately, and that's where we jumped off it. And we started playing other things. Camo, I don't know, I met when I was like 2.5, pretty much. No, a bit older than that, but that's who I'm into Halo from. So, do one of you boys want to start off first?
I'll let Camo start.
No, because his is basically the same story as mine. So you start.
I was gonna say, yours is. You've said my story.
Yeah.
My story.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Go, Dylan. Go, man.
Like, what do you want? Did you want my origin story?
Yeah, your Halo origin story, bud.
My Halo origin story. Oh my god, that is a long time ago. So, way back when the first Xbox released,
In a galaxy
I started
far,
playing
far away.
in a galaxy far, far away, in a time long, long ago, and stored in the back of my mind of repressed memories. My father bought one of the first Xboxes that was released. Turned into a shitbox a year later, as did most of those Xboxes at the time. That had major heating issues, and it just was not functionally built well. Anyways, one of the first games my dad bought for that Xbox was Halo, and he didn't really get into it. He played like a bit of it, but I really got into it. It was one of my childhood games, and I played the campaign just so much, right?
Religiously, yeah.
Yeah, religiously. The first game, religiously. My siblings would jump on, we'd play multiplayer, I'd frag them a whole lot and just bully them in general, as the older brother does, and remind them to stay in their lane.
Halo was a bullying game, wasn't it?
It really was.
Yeah.
If you were a nerd at school, it was like, fuck, you had to go home on the weekend with your mates and get bullied again.
That's exactly what happened to me. So I thought I was really good at Halo. I went over to my mate's place, and he destroyed the absolute living shit out of me in Halo. So that's my origin story when it comes to Halo. I used to play it heaps. I played Halo 2, but fun fact, that was a burnt edition. That wasn't like the original copy of Halo 2.
But you still got it though. That's the main thing.
I still got it. I still played it. I still had to push fucking 3 different buttons on the controller and the console at the same time to start the disc up, because otherwise it wouldn't work. The modding of the console might have had something to do with the heating issues that happened. Yeah. No, that's exactly it. So it would play those discs. You can't do that these days with the Xboxes, I'm pretty sure. But I played Halo 2, and then we had the original copy of Halo 3, so it wasn't a bird edition. But I played through Halo 2 like once, got lost on a lot of the levels, and then Halo 3 was one of my favorite games, which I played nearly as religiously as Halo 1. And that's pretty much my origin story. Halo 3 was when I started getting into multiplayer. Before that, internet didn't exist. I lived in the Stone
Yeah,
Age.
that's fair.
Yeah, that was also when Xbox Live came out. That's also when I became the saltiest motherfucker alive. Or
Yeah.
at least I started to be.
Well, I mean, Halo 2 was like, that was a luxury to have oh, no, it was luxury to have Xbox Live. It wasn't luxury to have internet. Internet was still a little bit before then.
Could you call it internet?
I mean, a fax machine was quicker, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, right. Well, we'll do a bit of a combined thing. So my father and Cam's father were offsiders in the Coppers a long time ago. They ended up getting back in touch, whether they touched butts or something, we will never know. But we ended up going there for a family holiday, and the only game that they had to play was Halo 1.
No, we had more.
Yeah, no, but I didn't want to play any of the other ones.
No, yeah.
So that's when I got introduced to Halo 1. First copy came from eBay because a Blockbuster never had Halo to rent for some reason.
I wonder why.
And then Halo 2 came out, and back to back, both our dads bought it same day. And Halo 2 was probably far and foremost my favorite one. I've replayed that so many times. Halo 1 close second, and then it was really. Did we do Halo 3 together? No, it was 4, 5,
No,
4,
I'd
5, and
moved
6.
At that point, it was 4, 5, and 6 we did together.
Yeah, so Halo 3 was when I
Didn't
first.
do Reach.
Did we do
Either.
Reach? No.
Reach and ODST. You know what? ODST was one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, atmospherically, that thing's a cinematic fucking game. Like that's awesome.
It's a masterpiece. The fact it hasn't got a remaster yet, like a proper remaster, is just a devastating blow to the community as a whole.
They'll do that at the same time they do 3, though. It's on the same engine.
Yeah.
Well, it's all on the same.
Well, then we played Halo 4, 5, and Infinite together because we're adults and live in 2 different houses, I suppose you'd say. And it's been fun until Bungie left, unfortunately. But
Bungie wasn't there for 4, 5, 6, but
I know, but I mean, I was in love up until 3, and then it just started to drag off.
no, you love 4.
I
I still love 4. Campaign on 4 was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Multiplayer was a different.
No, I fucking hated that mammoth level on 4.
Oh yeah. Other than that,
Yeah, that was a. They couldn't think of another mission to do, so that was the time waster.
that was
That was Spartan Ops.
that was the game lengthener.
Yeah.
Well, the game's only 6 hours. Well, we better make this an hour long.
Yeah. I mean, Legendary was absolutely a pain in the ass. Alright, so for Infinite's release, I way overhyped myself, as I have done with every other past title. Halo 5 was
We did warn you.
Halo 5 was a kicker. It was like having sticky tape across whatever hairs were left on my arsehole and ripped off. And then Halo 5 was pretty much... Oh, Halo Infinite was pretty much sitting on the driest pine cone I had. No lube. It was a pain in the ass. The only...
How many times?
It was just a mile wide, an inch deep. Like, there was not a lot of depth to the story, which was the issue.
The one love I had, which has still carried on, which I'll give it for the Halo franchise, is day one co-op. That made me like the campaign. But since then, I've never gone back to try and touch it. Because we play it next to each other on PC. That was
Xbox.
Xbox. Well, so that was the only reason I enjoyed it. I've not wanted to go back and touch campaign once.
Yep.
So, yeah.
For the entire campaign, did not feel like touching it or replaying it again. There was nothing there for me to go through.
No,
there's the skulls and there's the collectibles and yada 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 yada. But it doesn't like cause any sort of FOMO. It doesn't make me want to go back and play it again to get this shit because it has no fucking relevance to the entire story. It's just empty fodder.
Yeah,
you know,
they've tried to fill so much of a blank space, but there's still so much of a blank space there.
I loved the open world aspect of it. I liked the fact that I could move around without getting in a vehicle. But I mean, that was some of the best times you had was with a mate in a warthog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, as soon as you got the wasp, you flew everywhere. You flew everywhere. Or you had the grapple. You didn't?
No, I
Yeah,
used a grappling hook.
Yeah,
That's
the
all I
second I had a
used.
grapple,
See?
I literally just found ways to buzz across the map.
Okay, then well, the UNSC wasted far too much money on implementing a wasp, and 343 wasted too much money implementing the model into that game because the grapple hook was quicker.
I wouldn't say it was quicker; it was just more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing quite like zipping around the map on the grapple hook, especially when you reduce the cooldown on it, and you can literally climb mountains as high as you can.
Dude,
You
I
know,
think the other turn off was the vehicles. The way you because we got in a Warthog and we tried it out, and it was just the map wasn't quite designed for it. So
Yeah.
you'd constantly hit something or flick. Sorry, I smacked the mic
They-
again.
they made the map, and then they
Added
made
the vehicles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they didn't really.
there's no
There wasn't
traction
no.
control, mate.
No,
Yeah, there was no
no stability.
conscientious design adjustments to have for the vehicles. Like, yeah, Warthog is supposed to be this off-road vehicle. It doesn't help when it slides like it's on fucking Halo 1 ice, and the
Yeah.
motherfucker flicks on the tiniest pebble on the road. Like,
And being the game's
Doesn't
what
feel
25
happy.
years old, they shouldn't have really fucked up something as simple as the Warthog.
20.
20 years. Sorry, I'm getting old. 20 years.
I
But-
think another reason it's not really that replayable is think back to Halo 2 when you're doing the campaign. You remember when you got to a certain point in the mission and the music kicked in and you just felt whatever you were doing, you felt badass doing.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
There was none of that in Infinite because of I think the open world aspect
Yeah, but
to it. Like there was no you
Didn't-
could do those missions where you run through, but there was never really a moment where
yeah, it didn't have that
just-
doom theorem,
no.
you know?
but
Yeah,
they
it
tried to
didn't feel
say
like you were the Slayer, just running and
No,
kicking ass.
but they
like, it
tried to
was-
say that was supposed to be there before. Remember they were doing they did an audio video and they were showing all the little nodes all over like this part of the
Yeah,
map.
that was supposed to. Yeah, but the music just didn't punch.
Yeah, no, but that's what
know?
that should have done.
Music was good though.
Oh,
Like, I
yeah.
can't
Music
fault the
was
music.
good.
It was just
The placement or the ambient
just
accompanied
the
music.
heavy
I
the
would
heavy
say-
metals.
the way it kicked in and what you were doing at the time.
Yeah, if I'm starting to fight a fortress, I want a fucking sick guitar riff to accompany it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
blowing shit up.
Well, the only time that happened was when you've jumped off. Oh, you've jumped off that Forerunner installation. The Pelican's got to catch you, isn't it? It wasn't that the only part. That was the only really.
That was I think
Oh,
that
that's
was
when you went up and you skewered the phantoms that came in.
Yeah,
I think.
and then you had the Halo theme
And
song
then-
or whatever. Then.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just talking about the campaign in general. Let's not forget, right? This is how the release went. We went free multiplayer,
Hmm.
campaign, and then nearly half a year later, we got a flight for campaign co-op. We didn't get like the full co-op. We got a flight for the co-op, and that was still fucked. You know, when they executed the multiplayer beta so well, like I was comparing it to other games betas and how shit they were. Halo's multiplayer beta was flawless, basically. It felt like a beta.
It was pretty much finished.
Yeah. But then this campaign co-op came around doing the flight. You had none of the shit that you originally started with. You were starting basically from a fresh account. And that was not to add to the fact that there was server issues, crashes, things not working right, like the music and sound cues.
But do you know why the Halo Infinite beta worked so well? One, it was free. Two, because it had fuck all content. Because it was a beta, you had the cosmetics that you might have unlocked and stuff, but it was like, oh, that's limited. That's fine.
It's a beta.
We got used to that.
Limited content.
You're
You're just trying out the
fixing bugs. So
Yeah.
when the full release happened and the bugs were still happening and the desync was happening, you were like, "This ain't
Yeah.
right."
Yeah.
And not just that,
Release.
but like the rebalance to weapons, like the weapons felt okay. Like the pistol wasn't as bad as it is now in the beta, but
No.
I don't know, some popular streamers said it was weak, so they buffed it. Now it's fucking stupid. It basically outguns any gun in the game up to a
And-
certain range.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beyond the
I've-
range a
I've-
pistol should have.
being mainly on PC, I feel it's a bit janky, the pistol too. I don't know whether the controller might have like bullet lock or like what's it?
The aim assist.
No, not aim assist. Bullet magnetism.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe there's a little bit of that on console where
Well-
the PC doesn't get.
Well,
when
those
I play
blokes
it,
those
it
blokes
goes
need a
in.
lot of help though, don't they?
I think it's hit scan, not
Could be.
bullet
It could be
magnetism.
desync or
It
heat
could
scan.
hit scan coupled with desync.
Mm.
So it really favored certain players over others depending on the ping. But yeah, at the same time, it really was just weapons were the rebalancing issues, obviously, with the weapons, and they're adding more weapons without finishing the balancing issues for the original weapons that were in place.
The sidekick should have stayed just a notch under what balanced is. Just a notch under. Just so you could pull it out last minute and flick off as many rounds as you could. It's not a barrel
Like
rifle.
ODST, like you remember the pistol in ODST? You just use it as essentially a sniper. You'd never take on a brute with it.
No, it's for
Like,
grunts.
you'd finish it off with it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
but the grunts are one shot.
It is.
Hmm.
It is.
Whack whack.
It is
Yeah.
as its name described. It is a sidekick. It is not the main weapon. It's supposed to be something you empty your clip, you drop their shields, you pull it out in a flash, pop them in the head. That's all there is to it. But
It's a side
now
character.
it's this gun. Yeah. But they've made this empty, shallow side character into the main character. It pops shields in 3 shots and takes you out in 1 headshot. You can take 2 people out in fucking a mag. Like,
Yeah.
easy. You know, and it's ridiculous.
Let's see how are they going to work that when they eventually bring something like the Magnum back in, which they're going to have to slow down the fire rate of that. So it's going to be slower than Halo 1 because they're going to feel like slugs when they hit you.
I
And
wouldn't even put. I'm at the point where I wouldn't even expect the Magnum to come back.
well, okay, then at least give us the
Idea.
weapon attachments to make the sidekick look like it. You know what I mean? I mean, just
Well, from the leaks, the DMR or the what is it called now? The fucking
the bounty hunter rifle, whatever it is.
Bandit
Bandit.
rifle. That's apparently got
Damn.
attachments, so it might be.
But that's got to be to tanker though. That's got to what's leading to that.
Well, if it's into tanker and if to tanker does come to infinite, then I would imagine they'd come to Forge and it would come to multiplayer. So you could pick up the bandit rifle with a sniper scope or a.
What's Tatanka?
That's the BR.
Oh fuck! That's what they're calling the BR. That's such.
Yeah, that's the project name.
Call it Verdansk can be done with it.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, fuck, I mean, at the rate everything's on. All right, so we've kind of gone a bit off topic, and we've started just criticizing a bit of the multiplayer stuff ahead of schedule. Actually, no, I didn't even write that down. So good stuff. Now, yeah, the thoughts on Joe Staton coming back and Bonnie Ross stepping down, because see, straight away when Joe Staton came back, I was like, that's awesome, because as soon as that happened, all I remember is the Halo 2 anniversary, the Halo 2 limited edition vid doc that came with the game. It was the original Bungie guys, showed how everything was working, and that's how I see Joe Staton, just kicking ass, like just getting that game fucking sorted, you know. And unfortunately, I don't think he's had as much power then. He was more of a bit of a scapegoat, so everyone could cushion the blow. Up until now, of course. But the thoughts when Joe Staton stepped back in the ring, what were they like for you guys?
Hope.
Yeah.
But
Halo.
he came in. Yeah, Halo. But he came in late into the development of Infinite, so he can't make a massive change. It's going to be a slow development.
Yeah.
So
To me, the fact that they changed it and Joe Staton came in, like, yeah, cool. Joe Staton's a legend, made Halo what it was back in the trilogies, but in the original trilogy. But for me, when I heard he got swapped out with whoever the previous guy was, and he started making these changes to the game so late in its development, I wouldn't have had a problem if it was early development. But the fact he made these changes so late in the development is precisely what has caused the game to be in its current state as it is, especially the campaign and how poppy it felt.
But what state was it in though? Because
that is the question, isn't it?
If an OG player's come across and he's like just sat down and rewatched all the footage, like gone through everything, because obviously they've given him a fucking salary to sign and they've gone bang on the bench, this is what we've got, what do you think? He would have had to sit there and comb through it like as much as he could, You know, like I reckon he would have been holding back tears, surely. Or we,
From
Yeah,
tears
but-
from how off path it went.
yeah, you know.
But-
But in saying that, I mean, it could have been a fucking very. It might not have been Halo as we know it, but it could have been Halo Infinite, like at its raw form before Joe Staten came in. Like you could have been right. Like Joe could have fucked it up too late.
Oh, you camming it. All right.
As he seamaned in, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, games need to evolve and change over time, right? Yeah, it's cool. We can have the original Halo the way it was. Joe Staten represents that. But what he's tried to change it into is probably not what they wanted for Halo Infinite, and what probably could not have been as successful because of it. You know?
Yeah.
So he's made these changes to try and drive back to the original Halo formula, but in doing so, he hasn't taken the step forward that the Halo franchise in general needed to to try and catch up to these more next gen games. COD, I wouldn't say Fortnite
But
per se,
he
but
might have only had two options though. His option could have been try and get us back to the original Halo formula, or turn this game into something it's completely fucking not. Which could have. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm pro Joe. You know, I'm pro Joe
Yeah.
until
I'm trying to yeah.
we get like. I don't know why they haven't really announced what the content was like before then, because I think the community would be quite intrigued to see it. I'd love to comb through a video or two of what Halo Infinite might have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of leak of like an older game that was hella buggier, but was the original made game, you know, like an old version release. Because they usually keep those things on stock just in case something happens. But
It's like a
yeah,
press
as you
cover
said,
of it.
not like a press cover up. Like they keep those things in case something happens to the original game somehow. Like some super virus wipes out the entire game, all its servers and everything on everybody's consoles ever. You know, or they could have.
Why didn't they do that? Insurance.
Yeah. Anyways, but as you said, you are
343
biased
Pixie
towards
game.
J. A Bungie piece.
Dice, please.
Dice.
Just drop Destiny 2, please. Go back to a Halo. Make it good again.
Why is there
Anyways,
sprint in
biased
Infinite?
towards Joe Staten.
Fuck. Fucking hell.
Where's my fucking evade? I love the evade.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Bring back unlock.
you're fuck no.
Not the character lock. Fuck him
You're
off.
you're biased towards Joe Staten, but I'm trying to look at this more from a mutual position.
Yeah,
You know,
good.
impartial, unbiased. You have Joe Staten who represents the original Halo. You have whoever was before him who was trying to make it into something new to keep up with the game industry. He obviously had to make a choice, but he himself is biased towards his original model. So was it the best idea to bring him on board? You're like, yeah, cool, fucking bring him on board. Don't bring him on board to make changes. Bring him on board to make advisory suggestions. You know, keep the original person in place who was doing the things and let Joe just make suggestions as to what could smooth out this game without making massive cuts and changes and changing all this
Yeah.
stuff to the game. Like, you don't need to do that. It's completely unreasonable to cut into a game's development so close to the end and start making all these changes. Because, like, how long did it get delayed? We had a full year's worth of delay, and I would completely 100% attribute that towards Joe Staten.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, you don't just start doing what Joe Staten did without the repercussions, and the repercussions were what they showed at E3, what happens with the backlash, and then what they had to do to rectify the situation, which was take an entire year and then some to finish the game to at least a satisfactory quality. It was still the half-baked muffin that literally every AAA developer is dropping out of their ass these days, but nonetheless, it was a finished product.
Yeah. Cool. Cam?
That was a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
I feel if we didn't have that delay, could you imagine the state it was in?
Well, that's
Like,
what
it's taken a
Dylan.
year to get Forge.
That's
Like,
what Dylan's
that's what I'm
arguing.
saying. Like,
yeah.
yeah, but they delayed it when Joe came in. So clearly Joe's put that wording like, "No, this is not right. We need to really
Yeah.
work it." As in, it's not finished at all. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was with the original state that we saw the game in at the time, like, yeah, the graphics weren't, highly detailed like everybody's expecting, but and I remember my
I thought they were
father
nice.
saying, no, they were nice. I remember my father
They-
saying to me, he was like, that looks like the graphical essence of Halo 1, like
It
that was
absolutely did.
back to its roots.
Yeah.
But it copped such major backlash, but that now we've got this hyper detailed, I can't see through the foliage and nades are sticking to my face. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like before it was fine graphically and they chose to focus on the wrong things. They shouldn't have focused on the graphics. The graphics were okay. They should have focused on everything else first. We might have had Forge then if they didn't have to do like a whole graphics revamp.
Nah, I don't think we would have had
I think
Forge first. I think
Forge was always going to take as long as it did. Honestly,
yeah, it's like Halo Infinite was much. It's very similar to Halo 2, being the engine was held together by fucking sticky tape. But difference is back then they could push out a game within a year, and because we aren't sitting there combing through every thread on the fucking internet or waiting for the next bit of content to drop, we didn't care. I mean, the only content that we got is if it popped up on TV on an ad, it was plastered on the side of a soft drink can, or you got it in the Xbox magazine, if you were lucky enough to get one. Like that's it. Or a PC magazine.
I was poor.
Yeah, well, okay, you went to Coles and read it for free. Who cares?
No, dude, they put that shit in plastic bags. I couldn't even do that.
It was like the
I had to buy
porno
the
ones.
magazine to buy it.
But still, like that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the only people buying porn mags are like lonely gamers.
But that was the expectation for games back then. These days we have to know everything. We have to know why they're doing it, why they're not sleeping at night, everything. We're so heavily invested into the bullshit.
We're like watching these videos on like the developers and what they're doing and all that shit. Remember how we were watching the developers every time they posted a video updating on like what state the game was in and what they were working on, and we just looked at them and we could see how
Dude, they look like
fucking tired they were. They were dead.
The only person that didn't
help
was
they were
Unishek. Unishek looked like he just got out of a bed of flowers.
yeah, but he's only bloody.
I know.
Social media, like all he does is sit on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube all day.
I know.
Like, what does he do?
was so happy and bubbly. Then you get the guy
He
that's
doesn't
like,
look like a Redditor.
I worked on Infinite for 3.5 years, and this is all I could come up with. Like, he's just so monotone, Like
every developer had one thing to work on: one gun, one vehicle, one part of the map. That's all they had.
Yeah,
and they looked that fucking tired.
All right. Well, we're in the 27-minute mark, which is double what I thought this thing was going to go.
Longer.
Okay, so we've got Forge to cover because Forge is coming around the corner. We've had a few videos pop up. Cam has been the one I would say that's kept an eye on that the most. They are doing some amazing things. Given the last Forge I played would have been for the Master Chief Collection when we were doing our game nights.
Halo 2.
Yeah, I didn't really touch. I don't remember Halo 5's one. I don't think I touched enough to be excited with it.
We didn't play enough 5 to really touch it.
Yeah.
Movement was janky.
Yeah.
Still,
the amount
still decent for.
The amount of objects you can stick into it now, all the atmospheric stuff that you can make it seem like the flood's there. You can turn any design that seems to be a full 3D object into just like a vinyl wrap that goes around stuff. What they had? They had the Giga Grunts and stuff like that. So you can make the smallest character become huge, doesn't take up any extra object space or currency or whatever. Like all those things are fucking phenomenal. Like I can't wait to see some of the real cinematic things that's going to come from it.
Oh, crazy.
But like
Army and the Chief season 1500 coming to a cinemas near you.
Well,
was that Red Nomster? I think his name was. He made Andy's bedroom in Forge.
Really?
And it looked incredible. I'll put it in the chat.
Andy's bedroom.
Yeah,
from Toy Story.
From Shrek 4.
I put
Pixar reference.
Check out his other videos.
I don't know my cartoons. Anyway.
Animation. Anyways.
Dude, I would love
Yeah,
for
no,
Red
it's-
versus Blue come back because of
So-
Forge. That would be stellar.
Yeah, but only if they went back to like actual red versus blue, not whatever the fuck that last season.
Purple
was.
versus pink, they, their, them, elites or chief.
Oh.
I'm leaving that in the video because I fucking hate all of yous. Anyway, no,
Ew.
I don't know. I'm just very confused about my life, and if I come across a person that I can't tell is a male or a female, I'm questioning reality itself. But anyway,
It's still pretty easy to tell, mate.
dude,
As long as I got an Adam's apple.
yeah, but I mean, I've seen some pretty looking
that was
dudes
the
that I
right
thought was a
second.
woman, but it wasn't. Anyway, like
Oh yeah,
that's a
don't go
different
to Thailand though.
that's a different bed that I'm talking about sleeping in. That I'm not gonna. But yeah, so your thoughts on
Okay.
thoughts on Forge that are coming up? Personally, I kind of think it's make or break at this point as far as everyone's trust on 343 to produce something good, because we've had multiplayer was the best thing that's come out of it. Campaigns was a bit of a flop, and now they're really hyping up Forge with their media stuff, and it all does look really good.
I think the trust is in their ability
But
to create
if Forge
something
flops
that
to
can
the
create
absolute shit,
content.
I can't hear you, dude. What?
Did I cut out?
I could hear fine.
I can't hear you either. What?
Then why the fuck are you replying?
Yeah, that was weird.
You fucking
Have
dickhead.
I been muted because I've been talking too much? One of you cunts.
No, dude, well, fucking, I would have been muted first then.
No,
You.
I haven't.
How can we use that kind of power?
So the trust is in their ability to make something that can create content. And you're right, everything basically flops besides Forge. You know? Are you okay? Did I cut out? Did I
No,
die?
you're good.
No. I can't hear anything. Did you actually mute me, you dog?
No, you can't.
I can't hear anything.
I did not.
I just turned Discord off, turned
You-
it back on, and
you
both
guys-
yous are left.
Yeah, I know, you turned off and it was like me and Cam were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. And I hear the fucking thing go off and I'm like, oh, this is fucking hilarious.
I still can't hear you,
Stop
man.
that.
Still can't hear you.
What?
Neither can. Oh, me. Sorry, I must have lent on me cord. All I can.
You dumb fuck!
Fuck off! It's a cord from eBay.
Fuck me.
It's me Kmart cord, man.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
got it for
anyways.
free.
yeah, I said to you, yeah, you dropped out of the call and Cam and I both simultaneously went, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, fuck this, we're gonna
we
drink.
fucked off. We
Okay.
fucked off.
All right.
And
Well,
I heard the ding of Discord, and I was like, "Yeah, cool." He's just come back into the call, and we both fucked off. And he's sitting there in silence.
I was waiting for me mates to come back.
Yeah, I was looking at the screen over my shoulder, just cackling.
All right. So we'll wrap up this video a bit. So, what are your thoughts on the current state of Forge when it releases, if it does release on time?
I
Got
may
hope.
very well come back to the game.
I've got hope, but I can see a game breaking bug
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
occurring where you can't use it
Yeah.
because something on the server end or something on this end will break,
Yeah.
and
I
we'll be
would give
delayed
it-
for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Well, if
I'd
it-
give it 3
Mm.
months maybe to cook
Mhm.
before jumping straight into it. You know, like, yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, we're gonna get some new content fucking finally. But I'm just gonna hold off until they patch whatever needs patching, which there will be so much
Yeah,
that needs to be
Content browser, file sharing, all that kind of shit.
whatever
I mean, there'll
fucking
be-
shit they've got in the game.
There'll be the most downloaded playlists,
Yeah.
maps, and game modes will be there, so we can just get on and find whatever's most played at the moment. But yeah,
Well, apparently you'll be able to type
I'll-
in certain tags.
pretty
And,
cool.
you know,
I just want Splatter Machine or Speed Halo.
Yeah,
Can't
it's
wait for
about
that.
time, mate. It's about time.
Bring that back. That was so much fun. I
Yes.
had like LAN sessions with mates where we just have drinks and we would just play
Dumb
stupid,
shit.
Yeah.
stupid
Yeah,
game modes made before, just like Speed Halo. We'd spend hours just laughing our ass off, hitting each other with warthogs going too fast that they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, dude. Dumb fun, man. Dumb fun.
Dumb fun.
Excuse me.
Chill, dumb fun.
Excuse me while the guy in the fucking little Commodore right there is doing a sick burnout going nowhere.
Sounds like a
You're good.
Falcon, bud.
No, it was a Commodore.
No, it sounded pretty shit.
Yeah, no. The Falcons
I
won.
don't know cars.
Falcons won
I
Bathurst this
don't
year.
own one.
All right. All right. So I suppose the one other thing that I might bring up is the Unreal Engine versus Sleep Space. So
They should have just used Unreal from the get-go. Really.
I'm
I
against it.
I would like to see a standalone Halo game on Unreal.
That's fine.
ODST.
Yeah, because I think Halo Infinite on Slip Space lent itself so much better for the art style so far.
They could
Going back to one.
definitely do something different. Like there's two games that I've always wanted. There's one, I want another ODST game, but make it more like a gritty military Call of Duty, like one of the older Call of Duties.
He didn't say Call of Duty. He didn't mean that.
No, I'm saying like the military gritty
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah,
one
really,
like that.
really show what being an ODST is all about.
Yeah, all the
because it's not as romantic
dark and
or romanticized as
Yeah.
the original ODST game was made out to be.
Hmm.
You know, there's so much more and so much. It's just darker than what it was made out to be in the game.
Absolutely. And the other one I've wanted is imagine Alien Isolation, but a Marine and Flood.
3 for 3. Fix your fucking game. Fix your
How
fucking game.
much would you just shit your pants
Would
walking
you please-
around being that vulnerable with like fuck all weapons and just Flood coming at you,
Yeah.
haunting, like tormenting you, or like you could even chuck in a couple of like zealot
Not e-
elites invisible
even
sneaking around.
Flood,
Like
right?
Yeah.
Imagine you wake up on an already established flood planet and the grave mind has kept you alive and uninfected literally just because it wants to play with you, and your entire goal is just to survive. So you're trying to navigate and get off planet thinking you've got this thing step ahead and you're fighting whatever it's throwing at you, but it's letting you win these fights, right? And you get to the final part of the game and the grave mind drops the curtain and fucks you up and reveals that the whole thing was just a play to amuse itself.
But see, and then
just to see how you would react in those situations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
see that
That
And
would
then
be
use
cool.
that. Yeah.
see that character could have been escaped on High Charity or some Covenant ship that led into Halo
Jenkins.
3. Jenkins. Yeah, fucking oath. He fucking
Or it
oath.
could,
Halo
or it
1,
could
yeah.
be Johnson. We could see Johnson in like
Johnson can't
Because
get
he-
infected, unfortunately,
No, he can't.
because he's dead.
because
No,
he's black.
Spartan. He's technically a Spartan 1.
Well, I know
And
it's
the-
technically a Spider one, but that would lend
Yeah.
itself to the game because he'd be slightly stronger than the ordinary soldier, which would add credibility to his survivability.
Yeah, well
You
then
know
again,
what I mean?
Johnson's standalone horror title. That'd be sick.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
3 for 3.
And they couldn't kill him off straight away because he's.
Rainbow.
I said darker.
Can you just cut that and just put your word rainbow in?
I didn't say
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
will,
say
I will.
black. I said darker.
Darker.
Darker. That is the term my works HR has
He's
said
a
that I have
lovely
to use.
chocolate man. Anyway, all right. So, Forge release, is everyone hopeful for Infinite or for Infinite after Forge's release, or is it just a given if
Yeah.
it's going to be a success or not?
Yeah, it's a toss up. It's a coin flip. I'll flip a
think the-
coin to play it before 3 months, and if it doesn't land the way I want it to, I won't play it until 3 months is up, and then I'll give it a try.
Yeah, sick. Cam?
I think it'll definitely get a massive influx of players. But I feel with Forge, the longer we go, the more intricate maps and game modes will become. So it'll be a gradual increase of players. Like we'll get a massive spike,
Yeah.
and then it'll just sort of build its way up. Especially with the server browser that's coming in later.
You're not gonna see me on the weekend at all, by the way. So
Yeah, he's getting
taking
engaged.
my part.
He's getting engaged to his numerous Uno.
I'm technically already married.
I didn't know you were into shapes, but
He's a rhombus, mate.
I'm actually taking my partner to meet my dad and the rest of
Oh,
my
awesome.
family on Saturday.
Very good.
So yeah,
What's his
LGBTQ
name?
plus. I can
Simon.
drop a shit on your
Simon.
community because I'm part of it. So
You
fuck
are
you.
not part of it.
Yeah, no, polyamorous relatiamorous are
Go
come under
away.
LG. No, I'm not even
You're
kidding.
basically a swinger, mate. It's been around for ages.
No, just polyamorous
No,
is
no.
considered part of the community.
You're still white. Okay, just you keep.
Just say that again. I'm not just white, mate. I'm neon white.
My
See
doodle,
this?
my doodle's tan.
I'm one pigment away from being pink-eyed. Right? Borderline albino.
That's
Untransparent.
Like a glass.
this video that we're doing on Halo will not be something that we'll be doing all the time. It's only going to be after we see a big influx of content. Just to give our raw thoughts on it, because again,
It may not even be about Halo. We could just
Yeah.
spend half an hour talking about a concurrent game that's come out. Like, say, we could do another video on Scorn, or we could do a video on World War 3 and its lack of updates.
okay,
You know, it could be
really,
anything.
really pushing my buttons. Anyway, do the like, subscribe, lick my butt crack, and we'll see you guys in the next
See you
one.
spuds later.
What are you shaking your head at?
I like your butt crack.
I shaved.
Oh, yeah, you still haven't washed it. See you.